what I was focusing on to begin with was just speeches, political speeches, delivered in direct discourse. In other words, they're presented as if it's actually a person's words in history, which is something we're not used to. Of course, they weren't actual transcripts, and they're very odd, but they're presented as if they were, as if there are quotation marks around them. And I started looking at this, and I thought, rhetoric's so interesting because it's kind of magical in that how does persuasion work? How do you turn your words into action by convincing someone else to do something? It really is sort of marvelous process somehow, and kind of magical in a way. So I thought, well, here we have people whose whole approach to speech, their understanding of what's important is different, their understanding of what the use, connection of words to deeds is, seem to be different. So let me focus, instead of trying to do all the speeches in Thucydides, let's focus on those speeches that involve a Spartan audience. And I also became interested years ago in a book called The Human Thing. It's about the speeches in Thucydides. And the author, Mark Cogan, said, when you realize that in order to persuade someone, you have to appeal to what they value, you can, and not just logic, but sort of what they're emotionally and morally sort of invested in, then you should be able to look at debates and how people respond to these, how people try to persuade one another, and sort of read them backwards and excavate from them what the characters cared about, what the historical figures cared about. And it was a whole different way of looking at analyzing speeches.